Yo, what is going on, everybody? Welcome here to Hakuna MaChatter and to a new segment called View from the Inside. I'm starting this off with a good friend of mine, Christian, from the channels ChrisStillBeTalkin and ChrisStillBeTalkin. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. Oh, obviously, like, share, subscribe.
Every time he comes on to this channel, you know what?
It has to be done. It's like, are we YouTubers if we don't do that?
Yeah,
like,
right, fair.
No, but no, sorry about that.
How you doing, man? It's been a minute.
Yeah, it has been a while. It's been a while since I've seen you. It's been a while since we've made a video.
Yeah.
That's actually been quite a while.
So I was thinking before you were coming today, I was like, we've like made I think about 4 or 5 videos between our channels, and I'm like, but it's weird. I kind of thought, no, surely we've done more than that.
No. I think it has been that, but then the last one I think was the One Punch Man ones. I think.
Yeah, I think it would have been. Which was a while. That was a while. That was a lot of
fun.
So, I've got you on today because I want to talk a bit about your background of watching film and TV, what things you used to like watching, what things you watch a lot more now. Cool. To talk about your channel as well, because you have carved yourself such a crazy niche. I feel like that's good. We got to chat about that, and then talk about diversity and representation in film and TV, how you view it.
Okay,
let's dive into this. So the first thing I want to then talk about, obviously, is what you grew up watching as a kid.
So, I don't know. I'm pretty old. We're the same age.
Same age.
Same age. So, I don't know. There's only 5 channels on TV then. Yeah. So it was easy to watch everything on TV. I don't know. I'm a cartoon person. So I watch a lot of cartoon, a lot of SMTV Live, a lot of CITV, a lot of Alive and Kicking, like a lot of on Channel 5. There was their version on 5 something. I don't know what that was, but it had the Max Steel.
Do you remember the Fox Kids as well?
Oh no. So I'm saying. So I would go to my auntie's house.
Yeah.
And then she had digital. Yeah, and then on digital there was Fox Kids, and I was like, oh my god, Fox Kids, Boomerang, Cartoon Network, and I was like, that's kind of crazy.
They're all the ones.
So that was like, and then that got me into Toonami, CNX, and then that's when I realized the cartoons that I liked weren't cartoons, they were anime. But so I've always been into anime, growing up my whole life. But you don't know that, and if you don't know the difference between the two or what is the difference, you just put underneath one umbrella of cartoons. But as a kid, literally the usual, the Pokemon, the Digimons. I was a huge Pokemon Digimon fan.
Yeah, Digimon was the one for me.
Yeah, I don't know, something about Digimon was really, really cool. Pokemon was fun. I liked the openings. I don't know, maybe the openings for the first one, but then afterwards I was like, this kid's not aging. Is he ever gonna win something? But I was
actually, he finally won the Pokemon League.
Yeah, just recently, I know, right?
It's mental. 20 years or something.
That took forever.
Jeez,
but
Ash, come on.
So I think there was that, but then I was into a lot of live action stuff as well. So I remember watching Xena the Warrior Princess.
Yes.
I was watching Hercules.
Yeah.
Do you remember The Wonder Years?
No.
Yeah. You need to watch it. The Wonder Years is so cool. It's like, I think, was it Freddy Savage? Oh my god. Did you watch Deadpool? Deadpool 2? Yeah, did you watch there was the other version, the clean version of Deadpool?
I heard about it.
If you watch the trailer for that, the guy that's in the bed and Deadpool's reading him a story of the Deadpool movie, he's the main guy from the Wonder Years as a kid. Okay. He's also in Friends from College. There's a series on Netflix called Friends from College, which I love. It's like, I don't know, I liked Friends, but Friends from College is just because they're 35-ish and they're anyways. But you're like that. Okay. But he's the main character in that as well. So I liked a lot of voice over story things as well. A lot of narrative kind of pieces. Yeah, sure. Don't know why. And then that got me into doing film and stuff as time went by. More like Morgan Freeman speaking and stuff. Just those kind of things. Yeah. I don't know,
Nice. Yeah, I used to watch. Yeah, I mean Digimon, as I said, was one of the main ones for me. Power Rangers. I used to love Power Rangers. But all of them. I mean, Mighty Morphin was always the best.
Yeah.
Oh, what was the one? I can't remember what they were, but they were the ones. They were the time traveling ones.
Time Force.
Time Force. Yeah. And they had the guy that came from the past and he got stuck in the.
Oh yeah. I used to know like up until I was pretty sad. Up until maybe like 5-6 years ago. Like I'm still like in the loop of what happens in Power Rangers.
Great.
So I watch Black Nerd comedy and I like and then he's like a huge like Power Ranger like fanatic to a point of where he's actually been written in one of the episodes recently on Nickelodeon. Yeah. So I'm really into my like nerd culture.
So what about now? What the? I mean, I know you're still a massive anime fan still as well.
It's interesting. I found out as time comes by, I watch less anime because it's one of those things where it's like, you know, kind of how a chef would have started off like maybe loving to cook everything, and then the more you practice it, the I only appreciate good anime, and not in a way to be like, I don't know,
no, I get it.
Like I know to think I'm on some level, or whatever. But I think I've watched so much anime that I end up watching loads of good, loads of bad, and now I'm like, I don't have much time to do stuff. I'm a very busy person now. So unless it's like, if I hear it's a good anime, or watch out for it, or this is the one to watch out for, or it's like in the community, then I'll watch it. Or sometimes I might just stumble across something. Anime, I try to watch anime as much as I can, but I read a lot of manga now. Sure. And then if the series that I read, so I'm traveling on the tube or on the bus or whatever, so if I'm reading a manga and I like that manga and then I hear it's going to be an anime, then I'll watch that anime when it comes out in like a year or two. Fine. So it's like investing in these comics, or these Japanese comics that will be big eventually. I think now I watch my girlfriend's Netflix. So when I'm with her, we watch Netflix. I don't know. I don't really, like, as I said, I think the last thing I watched properly was like friends from college. I don't really watch TV at all. I just watch a lot of like business stuff. I watch a lot of Architectural Digest.
Architectural Digest. How did you come across Architectural Digest?
No, so as a kid, like, you know how we only had 5 channels? So my dad, when he'd go out or something, he'd be like, he'd leave the channel on something, and he'd be like, don't you change the channel. And one time I did, not realizing that, like, basically because he was recording something, so it'd record whatever's on that screen. And then like I was bored, so then I changed it to like The Simpsons, and then he's like, you watched The Simpsons, didn't you? And I was like, oh god. I was like, how did you know? But basically then after learning I can't do that anymore, I just left it on that channel, which was Channel 4 back when The Simpsons was on Channel 4. And then literally the Architectural Digest, no, not that, but like all those not Homes Under the Hammer, but all those housing kind of things were like always on TV. And I used to live in like a block of flats, and so watching all these shows about building mansions and building these things as like an 8-9-year-old, really like stuck in my head.
Planting the dreams.
So then, as I got older, I was like, I need a mansion, man. So like now
I know how to build it now as well.
Exactly. And my girlfriend's dad's a builder, so I'm like,
boom.
But like, but in my spare time, I really love just houses, like really into flats, houses. Like that's why if I can, I like to move around as much as I can, just so I can just, I don't know, just like being a little nomad. That was like a huge coincidence.
We definitely didn't plan that.
No, you're making it sound like we did.
Right, let's move on to talking about YouTube for you, because you've had a string of different channels, but there's one at the moment that's really kicking it. But let's build up before we get to that one. But because that's quite an interesting topic, that one.
So when it comes to YouTube, I've like my whole life I've been on YouTube. So I think when I was like, I was 14 years old, so 2005 was when I was first on YouTube, but it wasn't so I'm a dancer as well, so I've been dancing since I was like 6 years old. So like as social media started coming up and then like cameras and stuff started getting kind of decent, I would record myself to kind of see just the development, but there was nowhere to save it, and I couldn't leave it on my family's camera or anything. So I remember just making a YouTube channel and then uploading it to that, and that's where I used to watch my videos. I'd watch my progression. So I think I was in foster care at that point, so I was at my foster carer's house. So then I remember I would go to the park, film it, have my friend film on his old Sony Ericsson. So then as time went by, I was doing that. I did that for years, not for any reason, just for myself, just as progression, see myself dance up until 20 years old, I think. So for like 6-7 years, like 2010. 2010, 2011. Then around that point, I couldn't get into that YouTube channel, so I just left it. then as years went by, I was watching a lot of the Lonely Island, Lil Dicky when he first came out as well. Really in, like a lot of Smosh as well. Really into like those kind of like satire, humor, sarcastic kind of programs.
Sure.
Like
kind of content. Yeah.
Which in turn kind of added into my personality, but like. See, I like I'm really into the Emperor. No. That's what I do on my channel.
We got outtakes.
See, my favourite Disney movies, The Emperor's New Groove, just because of the whole sarcastic kind of humour that's added to it.
Yeah.
And that type of humour is what I've always been into growing up. So watching that on YouTube, I end up thinking to myself, wow, man, I like this kind of content. I feel like I could make these kind of parody kind of stuff. And then I started seeing loads of people now who are like top YouTubers.
Yeah.
But like this was like 2014, around then, 2014, and then just seeing like, and then Lil Dicky, for me, ex-boyfriend was the music video then, and then people didn't really know about him.
Yeah. And
then a couple years later, it blew up, and I was like, oh my god! And then Lonely Island, like that blew up as well. And Adam Sandberg, he ended up becoming famous on Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and like I was like, this is like. But as that was going on, I was thinking to myself, you know what? Like I want a piece of this pie. But then I was like, what would I want to do it about? So at that point, then I was watching a lot of anime. I was pursuing my dance career, which meant I was basically unemployed, pretty much. So sleeping around on my friends' couches and stuff like that. And then like going to castings and stuff, but in between those and doing like side jobs, I'd just like I'd binge like the long anime series like One Piece, which has 900 episodes. So literally, in like 3-4 months, I just banged out loads of episodes, things like that. And then I'd watch it, and then I'm like, who can I talk to this about?
Fine, yeah.
So then that ended up being like, well, you know what? I need to talk to my friends. So I spoke to my friends, and then I was like, no, like who can I talk to this about? In college, I had a blog on Facebook called ChrisStillBeTalkin Movies.
Yeah.
And I am that guy, that annoying guy that watches a trailer and I goes, have you seen this trailer? Like, I'm that guy. And I'll watch trailer number 1 and I'll talk about it. And that was always at the beginning. So then, since I realised no one cared, I made a Facebook page. And then I would basically like share the trailers onto there, give my opinion.
Yeah.
And I did film studies in college as well as theatre studies as well. So I was already into like just film, and my mind was already used to studying and researching things about film. Mm-hmm. So ChrisStillBeTalkin was actually initially to do with trailers. So then I made a channel called ChrisStillBeTalkin, and then it was meant to be about movie trailers, and that's what it was supposed to start like. But as I went along, as much as I love movies, as much as I really love that, just the whole acting and everything, something about it just didn't feel authentic enough for me. I was like, I don't feel like I'm educated enough. I don't feel like I'm passionate enough to continue talking about movies like that.
Sure.
And to continue a channel based on movies. And so then one day I was like, I'm just going to talk about anime manga because I love it, and no one else, people love it too, but it was still a niche then, 4 or 5 years ago. So that's when I started just kind of releasing it a bit more. And then that happened, and so I made that channel. That did okay. Then there was so many, YouTube had ups and downs. It didn't know what it wanted to do.
Still doesn't.
Yeah, I know. And then I remember my channel just became stagnant for a while. It went very big around Dragon Ball Super, and that was very hype.
Right.
Started doing a couple of reactions, and then that did really good, and people liked my reaction, which is weird because I don't really watch reaction videos, so I don't understand reaction videos.
Yeah.
So I just did reaction videos how I thought it was, I don't know, and it kind of did okay. So then, but then after Dragon Ball Super, the channel just went flatlined, and I was like, what's going on? I have 700 or 800 subscribers, and it's been like this for 7 months. What's going on here? So I just made a spare channel, and I was like, I would give it a random name, ChrisStillBeTalkin. And then I just basically would randomly talk about story time stuff. I would look into things that I was passionate about, like technology and this and that. Maybe throw up some dance videos, just like a spare channel, really. Yeah. People liked that, and then one day when trailers would come out, I would then do a reaction to a trailer or react to things that I loved pretty much. Then people was like, oh, you should check out this K-pop content, and then I was like, K-pop, why? But not the thing is, it's I watch anime manga, so I'm already watching and listening to Japanese content, and I'm a big weeb, so I have Japanese. My Spotify is half R&B, rap, gangster stuff, and then suddenly it'll be like the Boku no Hero Academia you say run so I'm just like, or like the Naruto like silhouettes, like literally I'm like, you don't even know what I'm talking about, but like, or the Maggie opening, like, so for all those weebs out there, you know what I'm talking about.
I know.
So like, so I was already used to listening to loads of to like not English. I was used to listening to not English vocals.
Yeah.
So watching and having a background in dancing, I watched a couple K-pop videos, and I was like, yo, this is actually kind of cool. I kind of vibe with this. Gave my reaction to that. People loved it. So then I made another reaction to it, another content. People really loved that. I tried going back to my original content before, and nobody really vibed with it. Or watched it, or YouTube didn't push it, so then I just continued with that. But I found that like with reactions, there's a certain way you can go, and because K-pop is such a powerful community, and like there's so much passion in it, there's a certain way you like. I felt like if I was treading on eggshells and stuff.
Yeah.
So I was like, how can I do it where I can still talk about K-pop, because I do enjoy the music, I do enjoy the dancing, but I do feel like the fandom for certain different groups can be quite toxic. This is coming from an anime person as well. Yeah. I was like, what can I do? So then I was like, well, I'm a dancer, so why didn't I look at dance practices in K-pop?
Yeah.
So then I was like, yo, let me just do that. So then I started speaking to my audience, asking for... The views are nowhere near as much as my reactions before, but the passion and the drive and the connection between myself and audience is just...
And so ends part 1 of this discussion with Christian. If you want to check out the second part, make sure you subscribe. It will be here next week. Until then, check out these great videos here, and we'll see you soon. Hakuna MaChatter.